everyone, good morning. You're watching Market Fatafat right here on ET now with me, Mubina Kapasi. Markets have shown a bit of a bounce from the day's low. We are firmly above 11,000 once again, as has the Sensex. But I suppose today the most important newsmaker is RIL. Can't get our eyes off that one. It's responsible for capping the gains in the market, but at the same time, it's also responsible for many of the stocks that we are seeing that are cracking in trade. But the show is, of course, all about flagging off all the individual movers and shakers. And today, for that, we have with us on the technicals Aditya Agarwal of VS Securities and Himen Kapari of KR Choksi Securities. We also have Pranay Jain, ET Now's research analyst. Well, let's kickstart the show then and talk about first NTPC. Stock price is cracking and how it's more than 5% gone today in trade. This after delivering the first quarter numbers, and it does not look like a very good set, because they did say that the new deviation settlement mechanism is something that has impacted the first quarter. Revenues are higher by 6.6%, and we have the profit after tax that's been absolutely flat, while just 0.5% higher on a standalone basis. Margins, a 40 bips expansion from the corresponding quarter. Like I said, the new deviation settlement mechanism norms have impacted the first quarter numbers. More than 5% gone on a mixed bag by NTPC, where we have seen the top line, which has come in above expectations, but the margins and the EBITDA have come in below expectations. Aditya, the other big Nifty company that we can't keep our eyes off is Tata Motors, because while the rest of the auto pack is falling in trade, this one is managing to post 2% gains, perhaps having to do with the JLR data. But otherwise, anything that you recommend with it being at 125 now?
So that has been the trend for last 3 trading sessions. Mubina, stock has started to form a higher low, which tells that the temporary bottom formation process is going on. However, I would want to see a higher high as well. Yesterday's candle high was 126.5, I guess. So I would want the stock to trade above 126, 127 on a sustained basis. Then it would confirm a short-term trend reversal favoring the bulls. In that case, my targets would be 130, 132, 136, 122 on the downside will act as a good strong support. So a buy recommendation will be about 127 for targets of 131 to about 136, keeping a stop at 122.
All right, that's Tata Motors, more than 2% of gains seen over there. But of course, the big newsmaker of today is RIL, Pranay.
Well, yes, and these gains have been coming in because of the deleveraging plan that the company has laid out for the next 18 months, where it plans to be a net debt-free company. And, as part of giving 20% stake to Saudi Aramco in the oil to chemicals business being valued at $75 billion enterprise, that came along not just as a positive surprise, but also the announcement of 49% stake that BP would be taking in the fuel retailing business, from which it would get 7,000 crore rupees, plus a slew of announcements on the digital business side, particularly Jio and other capital infusion steps for retail. So all of that leading to this one of the best ever rallies that we've seen in RIL.
The verdict there has been demonstrated by the GDRs, which were up at more than 5%, nearly 6% overnight. So needless to say, the market's verdict on that is clear. The fact of the matter is now it's a diversified conglomerate. And the nature of Reliance is that it brings businesses to a certain degree of maturity and then divests out either fully or partially their stake. In the case of the refining and chemicals business is a 20% divestment. But as you would have seen, even in the Jio Telecom business, they have fully divested out the fiber and tower business, which essentially was about 1.2 lakh crores on the balance sheet, which is in fact larger than this 1.1 odd lakh crores with Saudi Aramco.
Okay, big newsmaker of today, RIL, more than 10% of gains. Samya, of course, like I said, RIL may be responsible for providing some support to the market, but in turn, it's also caused a lot of carnage in other stocks.
Well, that's right, Mubina. In fact, as a result of this, we're seeing both Inox Leisure and PVR in focus after IRL has decided to roll out and launch its first day, first show for its premium geofiber customers, and this will be launched somewhere in mid 2020. So this clearly is putting a lot of pressure on both PVR and Inox Leisure. In fact, PVR just even came out with their press release trying to assuage these investor concerns, but I think this is it's not really going down well with investors, and it's failing to calm the investor sentiments as well. Both the stocks are cracking today in trade.
Well, yeah, lots of victims of RIL's announcements over the weekend. Himen, Bharat Forge, look at the way the stock is falling today. In their Q1 outlook as well, they've not really given a very good commentary. They have said that the outlook is looking a bit weakish. What do you suggest traders could do with Bharat Forge at 406?
It does not look good, frankly speaking, Mubina. But I would still see a hold, stop loss of 398, target of 420 and 426. There seems to be an apparent 11% short built up, but it's deeply oversold. Mubina, we are at multi-month lows, and the daily mechanical indicator like the MACD, stochastic, are all in buy mode. So despite whatever we've seen, if the level holds for a couple of trading sessions, a small bounce back seems to be possible, at least in the near-term downside of your limited.
Okay, it's a hold then on Bharat Forge. Quick look at the RWI small case and see what it is up to after that massive rally on Thursday and Friday. Are we seeing any sort of a follow-up? Remember, this is the RWI small case, which basically represents stocks that represent the Indian economy and the mood. Well, underperforming the markets. In fact, it's down by 0.7%. So quite a drop seen in the RWI small case today. It's after very long that we are seeing an underperformance come by in the RWI small case. Okay, quick breather right here on Market Fatafat. Do come right back and we'll try flagging off many more stocks when we return. Hi everyone, welcome back. You are watching Market Fatafat on ET now. Let's just take a quick breather and talk to the management of Shipping Corporation of India. We have with us Mr. Anup Kumar Sharma, the CMD of the company, to talk about what happened in the first quarter. There was improvement in the margins. The losses as well narrowed in the first quarter. But of course, it'll be important to see how Shipping Corporation will be able to navigate the slump seen in the economy. Captain, thank you so much for joining us on ET now. A 4.5% revenue growth year on year. Losses as well narrowed considerably. What exactly went by in the first quarter? I mean, the numbers definitely are not bad if we have to look at it versus what the economy has done in the last 1 year.
Morning to you and your viewers, and let me tell you, we've done the revenue of 933 crore with 206 crore of EBITDA, with the EBITDA margin of 21.3%, and we've narrowed the loss to just 29 crores. Basically, what has happened is our tanker segment has led the market. The tanker segment has led the profit and contributed by offshore segment also. So there's been a much better performance as far as if you first quarter of the last year and this quarter, we've had a very, very good performance, and also the currency fluctuation has also helped us.
Okay, all right. So that too has, the currency fluctuation too has supported Shipping Corporation. Sequentially, segments like liner, bulk carrier, tanker have all declined, but offshore has been flattish. So what would you attribute it to?
Can you repeat your questions, please?
Sir, I just wanted to know your individual segment performance, because liner, bulk carrier, tanker have declined, but offshore has been more or less flattish. So what would you attribute that to?
Well, offshore market has been very down for so many years. It's because of no requirement in the east and west coast of India, and especially with the monsoon coming up now, it will be further flat. But what we are quite optimistic is about tanker and bulk segment, which will be very good in third and fourth quarter, which has traditionally been very good in winter months. And what has been hitting our EBITDA margin is basically this conflict of Iran, which is happening. And we have to pay out additional premiums once we enter the Gulf. So that has been hitting our EBITDA margins a bit.
Okay, all right. And of course, speaking of, the Middle East and Iran and the entire sluggish growth in global trade, are you observing anything in terms of how that is hurting your business? I mean, in July, August, how has that been? Has it been worse than Q1? Has it been better? And how do you see H2 pan out then in light of the news flow that we are seeing, not just from, of course, the Middle East, but also from US, China?
Well, these two geopolitical situation, that is US-China and Iran-US, is definitely hurting the shipping. As I already explained, that every time you enter the Gulf, you have to pay extra premium of insurance. So that helps that really hurts the EBITDA margin. And also there's uncertainty as far as US-China trade is concerned. But we are quite optimistic that despite all this, we'll be able to keep our head high in third and fourth quarter, which is going to be good quarters.
Okay, all right. Thank you then, Mr. Sharma, for joining us on ET Now and helping us understand what went by for Shipping Corp in the first quarter. They did have to pay a bit of a higher premium when entering Middle Eastern seas because of the entire conflict that Iran has caught itself in. But yeah, all in all, losses have narrowed and there's been a 4.5% revenue growth. Okay, very quickly, let's continue with the countdown then, and more result reaction seen today in trade. BPCL, that one has seen its revenues come in at around 76,000 crore rupees, and the profit after tax has seen a decline. We in fact had interacted with the management as well right before this show on Buy Now Sell Now, and he did say that yes, refining margins have been under pressure for some time now, but marketing margins have shot up. On the industry. When it comes to the entire Oman, the entire rumor with respect to Oman investing in the Bina refinery, that they have yet to hear from. But they also did say that the diesel volume growth has remained so because of the auto slowdown. Okay, well, moving on from BPCL, let's talk about Airtel. What a massive drop seen, 3% gone today, top nifty loser. Is there anything that you're observing?
So another stock which has witnessed the carnage because of Reliance AGM yesterday. Definitely the trend has reversed following a series of up moves that the stock had witnessed. 345 is an immediate support for the stock. If that is taken out on the downside, fresh shorts can be initiated in Bharti Airtel as well. I would expect the stock to slide all the way down to levels of 342 to about 338. 351 to about 352 on the upside will act as a stiff resistance as far as Bharti Airtel is concerned.
Now, in fact, 5.7% gone for Bharti Airtel. Pranay, Britannia, meantime, a 3% volume growth number certainly is quite disconcerting.
Yes, and that's why brokerages have cut their EPS estimates by as much as 6 to 7% this year, and by about 9% for next year. So the 3% volume growth actually is not bad, but in a market where you've seen the industry grow by less than 2%, management is saying that even right now, customers are considering their decision of even buying a 5 rupee packet twice. So such is the consumer buying sentiment right now. Margins may not really improve given the input price inflation, but they believe that market share gains will continue. All of this on high valuations obviously is taking the stock lower by about 3% right now. It had opened 4.5% lower in fact. And also when it comes to the outlook, management has said that festive season also is not expected to be a good one, though they will see some recovery from the current months.
Well, Britannia is down most in almost 14 weeks, and another result reaction, by the way, is Divi's Labs. That one too is down most in 11 weeks, Soumya.
Well, that's right, Mubina. In fact, the stock has been tumbling on account of muted performance in Q1 FY20. Talking about the revenue growth on a consolidated basis was at around 16.8%. However, the profits grew just by over 2%. Talking about the standalone performance, even there, the profits remained pretty much flat compared to the last year. And as a result of this, this definitely seems the street is not happy with the set of numbers the company has come out with, and the stock's cracking close to about 6 to 7% today in trade.
0.8% gone. Hemant, today the Nifty Auto has cracked after 2 days of gains. M&M, key culprit. You still believe the overall outlook remains negative, even though the stock is now, the stock has in fact tumbled even below 550 now. 520 is where it is staying.
Well, Movina, I think the entire auto space is that way. M&M is not an exception. It's a sell and bounce. I mean, these days even the bounces don't come. So, but we are in a short, medium, long-term downtrend, Movina, and the lower top, lower bottom sequence continues. So we are at 520. We are probably heading towards 480. Maybe not immediately, but in a week or two. But yeah, it still looks weak.
Weak on the charts, according to Hemant, 520 now for M&M. Just Dial, Aditya, that stock too, after rallying to almost 740, 750 now, has been crumbling back below 700, and it's now in fact at 672. Days low for Just Dial. Aditya, your view?
So it's very much close to its cluster of supports. Looking at the lows from May 2019 onwards, 670 has acted as a strong support for the stock. It's almost there, touching distance from 670. If it breaks, fresh shots out here can also be initiated. It's a massive drop in trade today. On the downside, targets could be 660, 654. On the flip side, if it manages to sustain above 670, keep its neck above 670 in trade today, probably a short covering rally will emerge again, take it back to levels of 700, 710. But 670 will be a very critical support to watch out for on the downside.
673, so be a bit cautious with Just Dial now. Future consumer, the entire future pack today is seeing a lot of momentum and activity. A future consumer has seen its first quarter numbers over the weekend. It's a nice 25% rise in the top line, beyond 1,000 crores in terms of quarterly sales for future consumer. But the losses in the bottom line do continue this time around. In fact, it's expanded from 6 crores to 15 crores. So that is something that investors should be a bit mindful about, because the future consumer has struggled with profitability, continues to do so even though the sales have risen. Okay, moving on, Hemant, another stock that's been on the weak side. It did, after bouncing to those levels of 1,500 and above post the budget and elections again, L&T crumbles.
Well, once again, the weakness continues. I mean, that's an overall sentiment in the market as of now, Mobina. A sideways movement currently. Maybe a dead cat bounce, maybe can come in, maybe not. But the bigger picture still remains technically weak. We spent 10, 12 trading sessions moving sideways, and once again, we are negative as of now. So a further downside seems to be in the cards, Mobina.
Okay, so sell on bounce according to Hemant, L&T that is. And Aditya, BHEL as well continues to fall today as well. It's another day of losses. Your view?
That has been the trend throughout the year, Mubina, as far as BHEL is concerned. Continues to form lower lows, lower highs. No surprises out there. I believe next target would be 51. That happens to be the trend line support. Also a cluster of Fibonacci support zone. So 51 for me will be an immediate target on the downside if somebody is short on the stock. Fresh shorts, if somebody wants to can create for targets of 51. On the upside, 55 will be my resistance or stop loss. RSI continues to favor the bears, so no respite for the bulls as far as BHEL is concerned.
Okay, 52 now at the day's low. But on that note, Hemant and Aditya, thank you for sharing your technical strategies with our viewers. Pranay, Vinny to you, Pranay and Soumya to you as well. We'll wrap it up, and to take forward the market action, we will have Pankaj Podar on markets at noon.